All right, picture this. The world has gone mad. The dead are walking and the familiar sounds of your neighborhood have been replaced by an eerie, unending groan. The zombie apocalypse is here. The first question on everyone's mind is simple, yet terrifying. Would you survive? We've all seen the movies, played the games, and maybe even had late-night debates with friends about our foolproof survival plans. But when the moment truly arrives and the undead are scratching at your door, what's the right move? Many people's first instinct is to find a high, defensible position. And what's higher and more secure in your own home than the attic? It seems perfect, right? One single point of entry, usually a small hatch, that you can easily defend. You can pull up the ladder, block the opening, and voila, you're safe. Or are you? Today we're going to dive deep into a classic survival debate. Is hiding in your attic during a zombie apocalypse a stroke of genius or a fatal mistake? We'll break down the pros, the cons, and the harsh realities of this strategy. So grab your emergency go bag, and let's figure out if heading for the attic is your ticket to survival or just a coffin you've climbed into yourself. Let's start with the positives. Why does the attic seem like such a good idea? The number one reason is defensibility. Most attics have a single, small access point, often a pull-down ladder or a hatch in the ceiling. This creates a natural choke point. A single survivor can theoretically hold off a significant number of zombies trying to get through a small opening. You can pull the ladder up, seal the hatch, and it becomes incredibly difficult for the clumsy, uncoordinated undead to reach you. They can't exactly form a human, or I guess a zombie, pyramid to get up there. So, from a purely defensive standpoint, you've limited the attack vectors to just one, which is a huge advantage compared to being on the ground floor with multiple windows and doors to worry about. Another appealing aspect is concealment. Out of sight, out of mind. Zombies are primarily driven by sight and sound. An attic is dark, quiet, and removed from the main living areas. If you can get up there without making a racket and stay silent, there's a good chance the passing horde might just shamble on by, completely unaware of the delicious human snack hiding just above their heads. It offers a level of stealth that you simply can't achieve in a living room with big glass windows. This illusion of being completely hidden and secure is a powerful psychological comfort in a world turned upside down. It feels like your own personal fortress, high above the chaos. And finally, there's the initial safety factor. In the first few hours or days of an outbreak, chaos is king. The streets are a war zone. Barricading yourself in your attic gives you a temporary safe haven to catch your breath, assess the situation from a relatively secure spot, and maybe even get some much-needed, albeit restless, sleep. You can peek through vents or small gaps in the roof to gather intel on zombie numbers and movement patterns without exposing yourself. It buys you time, and in a zombie apocalypse, time is one of the most valuable resources you can have. So on the surface, the attic looks like a pretty solid choice. It's defensible, hidden, and buys you precious time. But, and this is a big but, the story doesn't end there. The very things that make the attic seem so safe can quickly turn into your greatest liabilities. Now let's flip the coin and look at the dark side of the attic strategy. This is where the seemingly brilliant plan starts to unravel, and fast. The first major problem is supplies, or more accurately, the lack thereof. Think about your attic right now. What's up there? Christmas decorations? Old photo albums? Maybe some dusty furniture? What you almost certainly don't have is a stockpile of food, water, medical supplies, and sanitation equipment. Remember, the average person needs at least a gallon of water per day just to survive. Are you going to be able to haul dozens of gallons of water and weeks' worth of canned food up a flimsy attic ladder while zombies are clawing at your ankles? Highly unlikely. Once you're up there, you're trapped with whatever you manage to bring with you. When those supplies run out, and they will run out, you have a serious problem. You can't just pop down to the kitchen for a snack. Every trip down means risking an encounter with whatever is waiting below. Your safe haven has suddenly become a prison, and you're on a countdown to starvation or dehydration. This lack of access to essential resources is probably the single biggest argument against using an attic as a long-term shelter. It's a classic out of the frying pan, into the fire scenario. The next critical flaw is the lack of escape routes. That single point of entry we praised for its defensibility, it's also a single point of failure. What happens if the zombies manage to break it down? What if a fire starts in the house below? You have nowhere to go. You are cornered. Your fortress has become a tomb. A good survival location always has at least 2 exit points. An attic has one, and it leads directly back into the danger you were trying to escape. If the horde manages to gather below the hatch, they could potentially break through the ceiling drywall over time. And if they get in, you have no fallback position. No back door, no window to climb out of. It's a fight to the death in a cramped, dark space. And the odds are not in your favor. And let's talk about the environment itself. Attics are not designed for human habitation. They are often poorly ventilated, leading to extreme temperatures. In the summer, an attic can become an oven, with temperatures soaring to unbearable, life-threatening levels. You risk heat stroke and rapid dehydration. In the winter, it can be just as cold as the outdoors, leading to hypothermia. There's no climate control. There's no running water. There's no toilet. The lack of sanitation alone will become a massive health hazard within days. You're living in a dark, dusty, and potentially dangerous space that will wear you down physically and mentally. The isolation and discomfort would be immense. The psychological toll of being trapped in a hot, dark box, listening to the monsters below, would be enough to break even the strongest survivor. So let's weigh our options. We've established that while the attic offers excellent short-term defensibility and concealment, it's a death trap in the long run due to the lack of supplies, no escape routes, and extreme environmental conditions. Is it a good idea or a bad idea? The verdict is clear. As a long-term shelter, the attic is a very bad idea. It's a rookie mistake that will get you killed, not by zombies, but by thirst, hunger, or heat. However, that doesn't mean the attic has no place in your survival plan. The key is to use it strategically. Think of the attic not as a permanent home, but as a temporary panic room. If a small number of zombies breach your initial ground floor defenses unexpectedly, a quick retreat to the attic could save your life. It buys you a few hours to regroup, plan your next move, and wait for an opportunity to escape. Your goal should be to use the attic as a short-term hideout, a place to lay low for a few hours, maximum a day, while the immediate threat passes. The ideal scenario would be to have a small attic go-bag stashed up there permanently. This wouldn't be a full survival kit, but a small pack containing a few bottles of water, some high-energy bars, a flashlight, a multi-tool, and maybe a rope to create a makeshift secondary exit through a vent or a small window if you're lucky enough to have one. Your plan should always be to get out of the house and to a more sustainable, long-term location. The attic is just a stepping stone, a brief pause in your journey to safety, not the final destination. So, when the apocalypse hits, by all means, use the attic if you need to. Use it to evade that initial wave of chaos. But don't get comfortable. Don't think you've won. The clock is ticking from the moment you pull that ladder up. Your priority must be to plan your escape. Use the vantage point to scout a clear path, wait for the horde to thin out, and then make your move. Because in the world of the undead, staying in one place for too long, especially a place like an attic, is a surefire way to join their ranks. The ultimate goal is not just to hide, but to survive. And survival requires movement, resources, and a plan that extends beyond the 4 walls of your dusty, dark attic. What do you think? Do you have a better attic survival strategy? Or is there another spot in the house you think is better? Let me know your zombie survival plans down in the comments. I'd love to read what you guys come up with. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more survival tips and apocalyptic scenarios. Stay smart, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay alive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.